Welcome to 50 States of Film, where we task our crack team of Nobel Prize-winning geography experts and movie nerds to find the film that best represents every state in the USA. Today we journey to New Jersey, a controversial place in that you can be driving both too fast, too slow, and should, according to the man who yelled at me while on the parkway, get the f*** off the road. It's perhaps America's smallest state with the biggest attitude. Known for its highways and its shorelines, but not as much for its gardens. The Garden State has been the setting for many iconic films, from Snake Eyes to Mallrats, from The Wedding Singer to City by the Sea, from American Gangster to American Hustle. Filmmakers have looked to the diner capital of the world to capture something of this state's unique sense of blue-collar ennui. Its sour stench of slacker malaise and the tangy marinara smack of a good mob story. But of all the pictures, which one is the most New Jersey? Which film has the ultimate combination of cultural details, geographic touchpoints, and women named Tina that, when brought together, create the greatest of breakfast sandwiches? The bacon, egg, and cheese? I don't know. Because if it's Jersey, it would be called a pork roll, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel. Toasted. What's a pork roll, you say? How dare you ask me that question? What's that, you say? Uh-huh. Yeah. It's basically just Taylor ham? No. Agree to disagree, buddy. Situated at the intersection between two of America's greatest cities, Philadelphia and New York, New Jersey is a true melting pot of ethnicities and cultures, making it a pinnacle of East Coast pride and prejudice. In order to discover which American film is the most Jersey, we'll need to identify some tropes and themes that would need to be included for the flick in question to be a contender. So, if you ask someone who's never been to the state, you may get a description of Jersey as a place where fakely tanned morons fist pump at the Jersey Shore.
Fist pump till my arm falls off. Fist pump like this, Louie.
But a conversation with someone who knows the state will tell you that Seaside Heights is trash, and you'd be better off going to Avalon or Point Pleasant. Beyond discussing which areas of the beach don't have hypodermic needles or trash in the sand, Jersey is also known for disgusting things like landfills, Jersey Transit, and high property taxes, and the sad experience of being a Jets fan. That said, anyone who's spent real time in Jersey knows that it's also a place of culture and beauty, giving the world the music of Bon Jovi, the brilliance of Princeton University, and the single most important American cuisine, the diner. You gotta love a diner. I'm talking one with a 30-page menu and the best french fries you've ever had in your entire miserable life. If we were to single out some of the things that really make New Jersey, New Jersey, the things that are forever tied to the experience of growing up or living in this mysterious, weird place, it would be the following. Anyone who's lived in the Northeast has thoughts about their hometown, especially if you're from Jersey. It's one of the smallest states in the US, meaning that all the towns are jammed up against each other. This isn't like New York City, where you can spend your entire life in Queens and never venture upstate. If you live in Jersey, you live to drive around New Jersey, and you're gonna visit a lot of different towns. A great example of a movie that does this is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, where two Stunner buddies decide that their high can't be complete without a bunch of miniature burgers and chicken rings. Probably not a lot of real chicken in those rings. While this movie was filmed in Toronto, it name-checks Hoboken, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, although it does bear to mention that the geography of this movie makes no sense. These two think the easiest way to get some fast food is to go from Hoboken to New Brunswick? Get the f*** out of here. But rather than focusing on a film that can name-check the highest number of New Jersey locations, what about a film that digs deep into a place and gets inside its head or even its heart? How about a film like Paterson, the Jim Jarmusch-directed drama starring Adam Driver as a bus driver in Paterson, New Jersey, who's also named Patterson? This lyrical meditative movie lulls you into a seductive rhythm as Driver's character rolls through the streets of this northern New Jersey town, and the local sites and monuments become characters in their own right, like the Great Falls. It's also charming that it almost makes you want to ride the bus. Almost, we're not psychotic. However, there's one film that digs deeper into Jersey milieu than most, and that would be the Burt Lancaster and Susan Sarandon film Atlantic City. This movie follows Lancaster and Sarandon's characters as they live their lives and reflect on the aging glory of this city by the sea. The film really captures the spirit of AC at a time when it mostly resembled the eponymous Springsteen song and had not yet devolved into the drudgery of the Trump years or its current state, where you're less likely to hit a jackpot than you are to see an elderly woman smoking a cigarette through her tracheotomy. This theme of individuals struggling against a system, slowly leaving them behind, touches on another hallmark of New Jersey. In the 19th and 20th centuries, New Jersey became a major hub for industries like textile, steel, and manufacturing. Cities like Paterson, Newark, and Trenton were primarily powered by people working these types of jobs, deeply embedding the state with generations of blue-collar laborers. Movies like Cinderella Man, where Russell Crowe does his best to bury his Australian accent in favor of Jersey twang, are a great example. Crowe plays the Bulldog of Bergen, a boxer down on his luck during the Great Depression. The docks of Hoboken make an appearance as workers line up hoping to get a shift, but this movie does lose points for filming these scenes in Canada. You thought we wouldn't notice, Russell? You Aussie bastard. We noticed. We'll never forgive you. That said, we can't discuss blue-collar New Jersey without mentioning the boss. The music of Bruce Springsteen is one of the state's most popular cultural exports. His stories of working-class life and the resilience of the American dream have inspired millions around the world. Look at films like Blinded by the Light, where the immigrant dream is the American dream in small-town England, nonetheless. This flick has a soundtrack that will give anyone from Jersey a pure dose of nostalgia, straight to the eyeballs and the ear holes. When the main character and Springsteen superfan Javed wins a trip to Monmouth, New Jersey, name check, he experiences all of Bruce's old stomping grounds in a montage scored to the film's namesake.
I can't think of a better reason to visit the United States than to see the home of the boss.
It's as potent a hit of New Jersey culture as you can get at the movies. So potent, you can smell it as soon as you cross the George Washington Bridge. Once you cross the GW, you might find a film like The Wrestler. This tale of working-class entertainers beaten down by life and work is not only a heartbreaking example of brilliant acting and directing, it also has an original song by Bruce Springsteen that was nominated for an Oscar. Yeah, the movie is a downer, but not as much of a downer as knowing that Rourke's latest project was not another church movie.
The devil's in the details.
While it may lack Bruce on the soundtrack, perhaps the most famous example of the film evoking blue-collar citizens of the state would be Elia Kazan's masterpiece On the Waterfront. Starring the legend himself, Marlon Brando, as another boxer who also works at the Hoboken docks. The film depicts the struggles of the workers as they battle against corrupt labor unions. Wow, that sentence alone may put this film in the top running as most New Jersey of the bunch, but hey, they really shot this movie in Jersey, and you can practically smell the Hudson River through the screen. Yeah. Not great. Brando has one of the most famous monologues in film history in this, with his "I could have been a contender" speech.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender.
It's enough to make you cry right into your hoagie. And no, I don't mean sub sandwich. I mean hoagie. And while we're discussing corrupt individuals working together to break the law, we'd be remiss not to mention, if this list were about which TV shows are the most New Jersey, The Sopranos would undoubtedly be our frontrunner. But there are many other mob stories situated in the state that speak for themselves. Thank you very much.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's anti-Italian discrimination.
This includes everything from On the Waterfront to John Wick, two very different films with very different run-ins with organized crime. John Wick is mostly set in New York, but the few scenes that take place in New Jersey, in addition to Wick's Jersey plates, plops this on our list of badass Jersey crime flicks. Produced also by Thunder Road Pictures, named after the Springsteen track, John Wick is definitely a Jersey flick by association, at least. And yeah, Jersey Boys has some sort of bomb moments in there, but come on, Frankie Valli and his Four Seasons transcend state lines. There's American Gangster, which is mainly set in Harlem, but has several key scenes in the Garden State. Okay, maybe there aren't many mob stories, but there are some. But perhaps the most New Jersey of all of these films is The Many Saints of Newark, the prequel movie to The Sopranos. By many metrics, this is not a good movie. By other metrics, this movie doesn't even make sense.
What?
But with its locations, characters, and historical representations of the state, and many scenes featuring deliciously presented Italian food, it is undoubtedly one of the most Jersey of mob stories. However, there's another side to the state that none of these movies convey. A slower, stonier, less ambitious, and perhaps more modern element to Jersey that cannot be ignored. Throughout Jersey, you'll find young people dreaming of a more exciting life while getting high in their friend's basement, surrounded by blacklight posters of mushrooms. People stare across the Delaware or the Hudson, disillusioned by their surroundings and wondering if they'll ever be able to experience the glamorous metropolitan things in life across the river, like eating a Philly cheesesteak or being robbed by a rat with a switchblade. This is all reflected in these Jersey set stories, one of which boasts an all-timer of a millennial bummer soundtrack, Garden State. In this film, Zach Braff plays a character so disaffected, he may as well be catatonic. Time and distance have caused many to reevaluate the quality of this movie and its contributions to cinema. Like the definitive manic pixie dream girl in Natalie Portman's character, but this movie landed like a bomb among Jersey youth when it was first released. There aren't a ton of Jersey specifics in the script, but special mention must be made of Jim Parsons' cameo as a medieval Times employee. You gotta give props to a place that makes you eat chicken with your hands. Oh, what about Susan Seidelman's film Desperately Seeking Susan, where a bored Fort Lee housewife becomes infatuated with a free-spirited New Yorker?
Susan. Hi. Oh my God, we all thought you were dead. Oh, just in New Jersey.
Yes, that is Madonna. And yes, this movie mostly takes place in the Big Apple, so it can't take the top spot. But ultimately, there is one film that has a little bit of all of these things. One movie that is so inextricably linked to New Jersey that it is simply undeniable. I'm talking, of course, about Kevin Smith's 1994 classic, Clerks. This movie is one of the ultimate independent film success stories, where a then unknown Smith casts himself and his friends as a troupe of slackers who get through their working class jobs by shooting the shit, getting stoned, and complaining about their lives. There isn't so much a plot in this film as there are loosely connected scenes where the cast wastes away the day, but it perfectly taps into the experience of being nowhere, with nothing to do and no place to go. Pretty much sums up what growing up in the burbs is actually like. It's a quintessential hangout movie where the vibe is everything. But if you want to talk about Jersey criteria, you have it all in this one. Numerous Jersey towns are name-checked, like New Brunswick, Manalapan, Freehold, and Little Egg. You have the characters discussing Springsteen, and Dante, the main character, is visited by his girlfriend at work and she brings him a tray of lasagna. You also get your first appearance from Jay and Silent Bob, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith's legendary alternative characters who appear frequently in Kevin Smith's Askew universe, or the Askewniverse. Clerks combines the mundane with the fervor of commiseration and loudmouth shenanigans. You may not be Jay and Silent Bob, or Dante, or the promiscuous Caitlin, or the old guy that dies in the bathroom before doing it with Caitlin.
What are you watching?
Children's programming.
These people might seem like archetypes by most measures, but also not really. Anyone who spent any time in New Jersey has met these people, has been to these places, even if all the details are slightly askew. That's sort of the gist of this quintessential East Coast state. Everyone knows everyone, even if perhaps by some degree of separation. This sort of camaraderie transports you to a random pit stop in Jersey where you probably tried to do something illegal with your friends back in the day. Bonus points if you scored a basement punk party in New Brunswick. I proudly present this banal reward of the cinema of the state to the black and white masterpiece itself, Clerks. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get going. I'm taking the 202 to the 208 home. I want to stop off in Patterson to go to White Castle because I have a problem. And if I don't leave now, I'm going to get killed by rush hour traffic. I'm Michael Strauss. Bye-bye.